All right, so today we've got Justin Leath on the phone. He has a partner named Rob Hubbard, and they've been doing some really cool things with their practice and soon-to-be practices. I met them not too long ago, 6 months ago, and Justin has always had big dreams about what he's going to do in dentistry. Same thing with his partner, Rob. So we're just going to kind of go through this for folks that have not set up their DSO or DDSO, have not set up their own software for a dental savings plan, have not set up their own lab, have not even contemplated creating a mentorship program, have not, set up their own private equity company. And so we're just going to go through the process here, and this is going to be followed up with other interviews in the future so that we can create kind of a timeline. And so, Justin, thank you for being on the call.
Thank you, Brady.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, hey, let's go into it. We met like 6 months ago in September. You came to a seminar, and then you were off to the races, building. So tell us about the acquisition that you just recently did, and you guys just closed recently. How did you find that? And go into that a little bit if you could.
Sure. Both myself and Rob had a vision, and that vision was to have 4 practices and about 8 to 10 partners. And at the current time when we met you back in September, we had 1 practice and just the 2 of us, and we were operating under an older, antiquated model, which was essentially just grow it as fast as we could and as large as we could and just stay at this location. But then we heard of the DDSO, the Dentist-Owned Dental Service Organization model. And from then forward, we knew that we had that vision of growing a pod of 4 practices. So after the meeting with you, we looked up certain practices in the area through brokers and through our state dental journal. And we found a practice about 17 miles from our current location. And we bought the building and the practice. And now we have a 2-doctor practice, and we're interviewing 2 guys right now to become trial partners to buy in.
Awesome. So within about, I'd say within a week or 2 weeks of getting you in touch with a very prominent DDSO attorney, you guys had your whole structure set up for $1,400 instead of $8,000 or $25,000. Is that right? And how was the process setting up your DDSO structure?
Very, very easy, very simple. In fact, the templates were provided by yourself, and we have operating agreements for both the clinical world and the DDSO world, and the support services agreement, which actually links them together. So it's very simple. We just made it state specific and worked with the attorney that you had provided, and it has been pretty smooth sailing ever since, and we're very happy. And those agreements have been signed and are in place before we bring in other people to our clinical world.
Awesome. I love it. For, over the years, I've spent tens of thousands on attorneys, and we set up a special deal with this attorney so that, all the probably 15 or so referrals a month we make, they don't get, gouged, because we're able to provide the templates that I've used for years and paid for and all that good stuff. So fabulous. So moving on, you got your DSO structure in place. Of course, one of the biggies with adding locations is new patient flow. If you can't get the new patient flow in place, then, you're not going to grow that value-added practice. So just about 2-3 weeks ago, you went ahead and put in place a bunch of funnels, and some of the same funnels that I ended up paying about a total of $35,000 for over the last 4 months. We cloned them over to you. You had a bunch of techies, including Dustin, kind of tweak them and modify them. Tell me about how the funnels have been producing for new patient flow and adding new members to your dental savings plan.
Sure, absolutely. Those funnels that you're mentioning are key and critical to our growth, of course. They're increasing our new patients. We've had about 20 to 30 leads just last month off of those funnels. And I want to reiterate something here. That's intellectual property of the DDSO. which is pretty critical here, because that's a way that you can justify your fee that your clinical world is paying that management world. So yeah, that new patient flow is critical, and that's going to be very important and vital to the growth of our value-added practice at our second location. Now, the dental savings plan is another software-based service, I guess you'd call it, that your team has helped us set up, and it was pretty seamless. It was already there. The cost savings were already there because you had already done it. We just had to pay for the licensing fees for it. And to piggyback on that software, there's also an in-house financing plan that's replacing our care credit. So we're now getting all of the interest instead of some other company that we pay. So that's resulting in higher case acceptance in our practices because, well, we have an in-house financing plan. So all of these are increasing more new patients. We're getting higher case acceptance. We're getting the cost savings on it. And it's increasing our new patients, which is invaluable.
Awesome. I know you've been doing a lot of things, and one of the cool things that you guys have done is created logos for each of your vertical companies for the DSO. So can you go over kind of what you named these various verticals, and which, like you said, adds to the intellectual property of your DDSO?
Sure. Our in-house financing plan is called Freedom Pay, and our in-house dental savings plan is called Hillstream Dental Savings Plan. Very unique. Our management world, our DDSO, is called Dental Management Partners, LLC, and that's linking our clinical world, which is Hillstream Dental Partners, PLLC. Part of our second location for acquiring involved private equity from both my partner and I. And we threw in some cash in there, and that's the financing world where we're going to be making some money off of some promissory notes that the clinical world is going to be paying it. We have a real estate world now that we own the building there, so that's called Vansar Real Estate. So our clinical world will be paying rent to them. But yeah, we got some logos and some names that we drafted up. We got a lab as well. Brady, I don't know if you want me to mention that.
Yeah, let's go into that. You had go into kind of what you were paying for full contour zirconia before, now what you're paying through the wholesale dental lab network, and then what the quality differential would be great. And yeah, tell us about that experience as well.
Absolutely. So the name of our lab that we've started is called Lakes Dental Lab. And let's start with quality. It's the same, if not better. Most of my crowns now are drop-ins. I do very minimal adjustments to them. I'm still a practicing dentist, so that's important to me. The fee was cut in half, essentially. We were paying between $100 and $125 for a full Z crown per unit, and that's essentially cut down to about 60s or so. So I am so pleased with that. That is going to be a nice vertical company to, increase a revenue stream, which I didn't know it was there, to be honest with you.
Well, that's awesome. The neat thing is you have a revenue stream, same or higher quality, but more importantly, your overhead goes down, so there's more profits for the owners in your group, which adds to the intellectual property of your DDSO. So your private equity company. So instead of going to the bank, you and Rob actually kicked in money and created an actual promissory note with interest. So instead of one of these practice finance banks getting the interest, you guys are getting the interest, and it creates I think, a cool story, meaning when you add co-owners and they ask you, hey, how'd this start? You can actually say, well, we actually put in our own cash to start this, which further kind of gives the foundation for you guys as the managing members of the DDSO. So that's an awesome part I kind of want to highlight there. And so, yeah, you guys your revenue is soaring right now, which is awesome. And I had a conversation with you guys and one of your new trial partner candidates, of which you have a bunch of them. He is just stoked to be a part of what you guys are doing. And what did he think about all these organizations that you've created to add value? Was that one of the big pieces that kind of made him excited to be part of the group?
Absolutely. He's an entrepreneurial type dentist, quite frankly. He sees the vision. And when you're bringing partners on, they've got to see the vision. They've got to see the different chess pieces on the board, and they have to have that aerial, 1,000% zoomed out view of what you're doing. And not many are doing it. And he's excited to be a part of it because he knows the profit that's available to him if it's part of a structured group that's actually doing what they say they want to do.
Awesome. And in the 1 minute we have left, because we want to keep this brief, because we do a lot of these every week, tell us about your book coming out, the title, what it's geared toward, and just give folks a little brief kind of Cliff's Notes version of your book.
Absolutely. So we got a book coming out, and it's kind of like a Monopoly theme, if you will, but it's essentially called The Avenue to Private Practice Ownership Freedom. It talks about the freedom from debt that you can ascertain, the freedom from administrative burdens and clinical anxiety, and it basically outlines the transition timetable for a new dentist or an existing dentist to transition from a solo model to a private, successful group practice of like-minded dentists.
Awesome. Well, I have personally seen it, obviously, and I know that's going to be a huge part of what we didn't talk about, which is your mentorship program, where you guys actually use money from your private equity company and other sources of capital to get a dentist on their feet and building their own group attached to your DDSO, which, hey, if I was coming out of school, that would be something I'd jump on immediately. So Justin, a big, warm, and hearty thank you for doing this interview and for encouraging others who are just maybe 1 or 2 steps behind you. Obviously, over the months and over the next few years, I am excited to continually kind of do some of these interviews to monitor your progress, which I'm certain will continue to be in the top 1% as it is right now. So Justin, thank you so much, and appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Brady. Look forward to blue skies ahead here.
Have a good one, Justin.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.